Hi, I'm doing another video um, um, about Seattle's East Side. And what I wanted to do was a video that deals with low-income housing that was supposed to be low-income housing for those that were on eligible for low-income housing. But see, in Seattle, what I consider low-income housing is people that are making $10,000 to $20,000 a year or less. For me, that's considered low income housing, but I forget Seattle is not like any other city. It's not like New York or San Francisco. It's a little bit different because the state of Washington has restricted the cities and the cities and townships of Seattle, I mean, of the state of Washington, to keep the cities from enacting any kind of rent restrictions. Now, it says here in the headlines, the aim was to create affordable housing on the east side, but some owners have violated the rules. It says here that the aim was to create affordable housing on the east side, but some owners sought to turn a profit. They didn't go along with the rules like they were supposed to. It says here in Issaquah, real estate agent Betty Chandler knew something was off soon after her clients walked into their new condos in Issaquah Highlands. Many of the new homeowners had purchased the condos at lower than market prices. Thanks to the help from the Eastside organization that provides housing for households whose income are below the King County median. Their neighbors, at least on paper, qualified for the same program operated by a regional coalition for housing, ART, an agency that pools money and works with affordable housing providers to build and preserve housing. But when Chandler wanted to send a welcome note from her buyers to the new neighbors, the mailing addresses were different from their Issaquah Highlands homes. One client even told her some people are renting condos in the neighborhood. I said, that can't be. You signed a covenant that it has to be owner occupied, Chandler recalled. She said, I know what I signed, and I'm telling you there are a tremendous amount of condos being rented out. So people are qualifying for the condos. They're qualifying for the condominiums that they're buying. Then they're turning around and renting them out. They legally own them, but they're renting them out for so much a month. Or they're reselling for so much a month, or so much. They're reselling for a higher profit. So here it says, I said, that can't be. You signed a covenant that has to be owner-occupied, Chandler replied. She said, I know that what I signed, and I'm telling you that, I just read that. That was my first awakening that all that glitters is not gold. A King 5 investigation last year found that many of the owners of condominiums in Issaquah Highlands and Bellevue weren't living in their ARC properties. It's like you qualify, but then you turn around and screw the company over that gave you the discount. But instead of renting them out to others for profit, let's see, Bellevue weren't living in their ARC properties, but instead they were renting them out to others for profit, using them as a second home or leaving them empty. All three acts were in violation of the agreement they signed with ARC. Now, if you got an apartment from ARC or you got a condominium from ARC, you're supposed to live in it for so many months or a year or two or whatever. Once you do that, then you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. In addition, a recent investigation by the Seattle Times revealed an additional 24 homes in Issaquah, Bellevue, Woodville, and Woodinville and Redmond, where the owners appear to live somewhere else in violation of the rules of ARC, which is particularly funded by Eastside taxpayers. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because the ones that are doing the story, the ones that own ARC, the ones that are over the particular thing, they're not going to do nothing about it. They're going to just allow it to happen. They did a news report on it. That's as far as it's going to go. But I've got this on video now. I'm talking to you about it, and I'm explaining what's going on. That way people can go back into my video and say, okay, this is what's happening, because I'm reading you exactly what the article said, and I'm giving it to you from the horse's mouth. After the King 5 investigation, ARC officials said that the nonprofit organization would hire a home ownership consultant and consult its own audit of the about 700 ARC-administered homes spread across the East Side. Now, not only was there people that were qualifying for it, you had government officials that were qualifying for it too, and they were turning around and they were renting it out or selling it for a higher price than what they got it for. Now, the only reason I'm telling you this, and I'm trying to keep this video short because my videos get a little long-winded sometimes, but the long and the short of it is, on the East Side, there was some apartments and condos that were supposed to be built for the low income. Now, like I said, for me, I consider low income to be $20,000 or less a year. People on disability, people on welfare, people that are veterans, people that are handicapped, people on Social Security. Those are supposed to be the ones that qualify, but in Seattle, a single male making $60,000 a year is considered low income now. Impoverished. A family of four making $80,000 a year is considered low income now. If I made $80,000 a year, I could live very comfortable on that. Very. If I made $60,000 a year, I could be very comfortable on that. Probably not living in Seattle, because Seattle's kind of screwed things up. They are ass backwards on a lot of stuff. And they don't have a backbone. The city council has no backbone. The city council will not stop what's going on. And they won't fix it. So anyway, this has been All Things Considered, because I consider all things. Good night, Seattle.